This is an urban stream health trajectory. On the y-axis here, we're going to have DCI, which is the directly connected imperviousness. On the x-axis, of course, we've got time in years. We're going to go right back here to 1880, which is when urbanisation first started in the catchment here. We've got the 1940s here. We've got going on a bit to, say, 2020 here. Then what we're going to have on the this axis over here is another axis, and we'll call this the signal axis. Now, signal is a measure of signal, and it goes from 1 to 10, and it's a measure of the sensitive taxa, bugs, insects. And so what we're comparing here is the directly connected imperviousness is the impacting variable. It's a thing that degrades the macroinvertebrate diversity, which is measured by signal, which is an index from 1 to 10. Now we know DCI gets up in this area to around 40%, and down here we might have, let's say, 5%. So we know that from the 1880s we had the DCI was going up steadily, and we had, well, the DCI goes up steadily because our urbanisation is increasing, and it sort of flattens out around the 1940s, around 30 or 40% probably at this point. So then it comes along, and it's actually going up a bit now because the density in that region is actually going up higher again. But we know that how sensitive the system is to directly connected imperviousness. We know that macrophytes on the signal index on this size will plunge from about 8 at this time. So this is back in 1880. It would have plunged very quickly from about 8 down to about 2 or 1 or 2, something like that. And then it's going along. Then in the 1970s, back in about here, something happens, which is we actually get increased channelization. So that was that concrete channels we looked at in the field. Those came in the 1970s, and that would have actually plunged it down even lower. Probably by the time we get to the present, it's probably at virtually zero. There's really, well, it won't be zero because we've always got some sort of bugs there, some worms and other extremely tough macroinvertebrates. Now, just imagine that if we went in here and we changed the setting where we tried to undo at this point here in 2020, we started to try to undo the directly connected imperviousness by putting in stormwater, water-sensitive urban design. Look, the reality is we can't get that water quality. This might come back down to 20% if we're very lucky, but it's highly unlikely. Even if it got to that, the chances of getting any response from macroinvertebrates is, the evidence is extremely low, that we'll get back anything. So my prediction would be this trajectory would be right, and we wouldn't get it back off the bottom by anything we did to DCI, or revegetation, or channelization. And there's evidence for that from the little stringy bark catchment.